Okay, FabMo Faithful, here's a project for you. This uses 8-inch squares. You know FabMo has a lot of those. And of course I can't get there to get any of them, just like you. So I'm making do. This is to make a small purse from 8-inch squares. What you need to do is pick 3 compatible 8-inch squares of fabric. So vaguely looking okay together. So I have a floral, which is going to be my pretty one, another one that matches, and something thin for a lining. You can use something thicker, but this purse is quite small, so it's hard to handle thicker fabrics when you're making small things. So we've got 3 things. We've got A, the outside flap and the back, and B, the outside front and the lining of the front, and then C, which is the lining of the back and the flap. You fold B in half, the wrong sides together. In this case, mine doesn't have a right or wrong side. And top stitch it near the fold. You see how to top stitch this. This will be the inside top of your purse. And with the right sides together, this is wrong side, so that's the right side, I'm going to stitch the outside back flap A to the outside front B. So that's that one. Now it didn't tell me how big the top stitching was, so I just used 1/4 of an inch, which I'm using for all the seams. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the lining. This is a nice little piece of silk. This makes quite a cute little bag. You'll be able to make lots of them. Now, right side together. Fold in half where it's top stitched, right sides together, and put those together. So, okay. So you've ended up with this folded in half and your 2 other pieces together. So now you've got a stack. Page 2. Bring the outside edge. Okay, that's what I did. You now have an 8-inch square stack. C is on the bottom, A is on the top face down, and B is in the middle, sandwiched between folded in half. Stitch through all layers on the 2 unstitched sides and leave this end open. Alright. Since I'm going to be turning it inside out, I'm actually going to stitch around the corner a little bit. That makes it easier. Now I'm going to turn it inside out. It doesn't tell you to do this, but I like to cut the bulk off the corners where I've sewn them, so that when you turn them inside out there's not as much bulk in there. So now I'm going to wrestle it inside out. Nearly done. This is where the magic happens when you turn something inside out, and oh, there it is. I'm going to use my little stick to poke the corners out too. You can use a chopstick or a pencil, but don't use anything too pointy because you can, whoops, you can go through the corners, whoops, like that, really easily. No, I didn't do that quite right. That's supposed to go this way. See, there's the back of it. Now, because I turned that edge around the corner, it just makes it a little easier. Now, you can press that. You can top stitch this on the machine. You can hand sew it. I'm just going to top stitch it for expediency. Right close to the edge. Sometimes you have to give it a little prod to get it started when it's thick. So there's our little purse. You could put glasses in this, lipstick, throw it in your purse. Now you can put a little button on here or some Velcro. Page 3 has some other ideas. You can make it more sturdy. You can actually put interfacing in here to make it a little sturdier. You can add a trim or buttons, and you can make the top flap a different shape, like that. You can have interior pockets in it. You can add a little crossbody strap or a wristlet, so you can make, once you've made this pattern, you can make it all different sizes. It doesn't have to be 8 inches, of course, but it's just that we have so much of that stuff and it's so lovely. And also giving it a good press helps. I made one before this just to try it out, and it's not very gorgeous, but it's quite gorgeous. And I had black thread in the machine, so I top stitched it with black thread and I put some trim on it. When you were sewing it closed, you can put a little bit of hat elastic in here like that, and then sew a button on it to close it. Very retro looking, don't you think? Anyway, that's your project. I want to see what you did.